Hello friends, welcome to the Alankar Pharmacy classes again, and in this video I will explain about the factors affecting evaporation, another very important topic that is related to unit operation and pharmaceutical engineering. So let's start. Evaporation is actually a process of vaporizing large quantities of volatile liquid to get a concentrated product. So in the case of evaporation, basically the concentrated liquid is our product. And evaporation is actually a surface phenomena. And why it is termed as a surface phenomena? Because in this case, the mass transfer takes place from the surface of liquid. Basically, in the case of liquid, the molecules are held together by a cohesive force. These are some cohesive forces which keeps this molecule together. But in spite of this, some molecules possess sufficient kinetic energy to overcome this cohesive force, and that's why they starts evaporating from the surface of the any liquid into gaseous molecules. So in this way evaporation takes place. John Dalton proposed the equation of evaporation in 1834, which is also known as the law of evaporation. And according to him, the rate of evaporation, that is E, is equals to this C is the coefficient multiplied by Pw minus Pa. Now what is this Pw? Pw is the vapor pressure of film of air next to the water surface, and this Pa is the vapor pressure in the air above the film. Assume that there is any vessel in which we have kept the any fluid in this way. So according to Dalton's law, the rate of evaporation equals to the, first of all, this the C is the coefficient, which is also a constant value, multiply by this Pw. Pw is simply the vapor pressure of the film of air which is just above the surface of liquid, and without any doubt that this layer will contain large number of vapor molecules, but the value of Pa is actually the vapor pressure of the air which is above this film, and since it possesses the less amount of the gas molecules or the vapor molecules of liquid, and that's why its vapor pressure will be comparatively very less as compared to this thin layer. So this is about the Dalton's law, and this coefficient actually depends upon the pressure, wind velocity and some other variables. Now let us come to the discuss about the various factors that affects this rate of evaporation or evaporation. So the first factor is very obvious, that is the temperature. Increase in temperature will increase kinetic energy of the molecules to overcome from cohesive forces and get converted into vaporized form. Thus the rate of evaporation increases with increase in temperature. Below boiling point, vapors is formed from the surface only, but at boiling point, vapors is formed throughout the area of liquid. So evaporation is also performed at the low temperature. So in the case of evaporation, basically the molecules which are present over the surface of the liquid will evaporate only, but in the case of boiling, vapors will be formed throughout the area of liquid. For the evaporation of some heat sensitive hormones, enzymes and antibiotics, this requires an special techniques. And why it is so? Because these are the heat sensitive products. Now you can easily understand that the temperature is directly affecting the rate of evaporation, and if the temperature increases, that means the rate of evaporation will also increase. Second factor is the vapor pressure. As already discussed in the Dalton's law, that the rate of evaporation is directly proportional to this Pw minus Pa. That means the greater the difference, that means higher the rate of evaporation, and thus we can say that the evaporation will be continued until the Pw value is equals to Pa. Let us assume that there is a vessel and in which we have kept a liquid, and this liquid is heated by any suitable mean. So if the atmosphere is saturated with the vapors, that means the vapor pressure that is exerting by this film of air that is just over this liquid is almost same as compared to the air that is present over fluid, and in this way the value of Pw will be equals to Pa and evaporation will stop. There may be a case that PA will be greater than PW. In this case, condensation will take place. That is the reverse of evaporation. The atmospheric pressure will now starts condensing over the liquid, and this is the reverse case of the evaporation, and this will happen when the PA value exceeds the PW value. One thing we can do to increase the rate of evaporation is to decrease this value of PA, and this can be decreased by either applying vacuum or keeping the atmosphere dry. Now the next thing is the surface area. The greater the exposed surface area of the liquid, greater will be the rate of evaporation, and thus evaporators with large heating surface area will form product quickly. For example, in the case of a tubular evaporator, it forms the concentrated product quickly as compared to the pan evaporator under same conditions. The fourth factor is the velocity of wind. The rate of evaporation also increases with the velocity of the wind flowing over the liquid. The molecules of the vapors above the liquid will be removed by the wind, and there is an increase in the driving force for the further evaporation. So what is happening here? The wind will carry away the vapors of molecules that is over the liquid, and in this way the value of PA will be decreased, and in this way again the rate of evaporation will be increased. This will certainly increase the driving force for the further evaporation, and that's why the rate of evaporation will also be increased. There is one study which suggests that the velocities less than 10.8 miles per hour had no effect on evaporation. But this study is based on some fixed circumstances, and there is a reverse case also. The rate of evaporation increases with the wind velocity up to a critical velocity beyond which further increase in the wind has no influence on the rate of evaporation. The fifth factor is the atmospheric pressure. Evaporation forms in the high altitudes which certainly impact on the rate of evaporation because of the low atmospheric pressure. So there is nothing to explain in this. Next factor is the soluble salts. Increase in the concentration of the solutes decreases the rate of evaporation. For example, the rate of evaporation of the seawater is about 2 to 3% less than the fresh water. If concentration of the solute increases, that will certainly impact the rate of evaporation. Seventh factor is film and deposits. A film of a stationary liquid in the evaporator walls may resist the heat transfer and thus reduces the rate of evaporation of liquid. And if there is more viscous feed, that means greater the thickness of the boundary layer, the thickness of the stationary layer can be reduced by creating turbulence mechanically or by stirring manually. There are few liquids which may form a boundary layer over the surface of evaporator, and in this way again the rate of evaporation will be decreased. There are few materials which may also form a film of deposits. For example, the polysaccharide portions of the plant extracts may burn onto hot surface, and this will again further decrease the rate of evaporation, and this problem can be reduced by continuous removal of the liquids from walls of evaporators. So this is related to the film and deposits, and now the eighth factor is related to cohesive forces of the liquid molecules. Now the eighth factor is related to cohesive forces of the liquid molecules. So now you can easily understand, if there is high cohesive forces between the liquid molecules, that means it will be a less volatile and it will be very difficult to evaporate. For example, in the case of a acetone which is very volatile as compared to the water, and thus acetone will evaporate easily as compared with the water. And why it is so? This is simply because of the less cohesive forces as compared to the water. And the ninth and last factor is the relative humidity of the surrounding air. Evaporation performed in a low humid area or dry air will not affect the rate of evaporation because it absorbs the moisture more readily than moist air, and thus vapors formed over the liquid is required to be removed for continuous evaporation. If the surrounding air is humid, that means there will be a no or less driving force for the evaporation, and in this way the rate of evaporation will be reduced. So this is all with the today's topic. Hope you all have liked this video. So please share with your colleagues who are in the search of this topic. Thank you, friends.